And welcome back to Capital Talk. All this week, it's all about conservation. And yes, there are some scary statistics out there. We need to sit back, take stock, and remind ourselves that what we do is not about us, but our children and their children's children. On the bench today is a man who knows a thing or two about conservation. He also knows a thing or two about paleontology, and yes, about politics. Kenyan politics from the inside, because he served as secretary to the cabinet and head of civil service at one point. That's right. Sit back, folks. It's the doctor himself, Dr. Richard Leakey. Are we at a good place to talk right now? I mean, because, you know, we promulgated this constitution, we've got a new CJ. First of all, your thoughts about Dr. Willie and his team?
I think I can't remember a time when I have felt as much hope as I do today. I think the beginning of the process of transparency in appointments, the beginning of a discussion about accountability with interactions with Interpol, the beginnings of a discussion leading to justice and ending impunity, with the participation of public in hearings, the pressure on the politicians to fess up and admit they're wrong by not paying taxes. I think these are incredible days, and I'm, amongst many, I think, really thrilled to be experiencing them, given where we've come from. And you know, I was saying to somebody recently, you know, even under colonial time, there was no transparency in government in terms of appointments. I mean, this is remarkable what we've achieved, and you know, it hasn't happened in many countries, let alone Africa, all over the world. And I think if we can sustain this, it can only be the magic wand that will set us on the course to become the regional centre that Kenyans deserve. Yeah. I think there are other issues. I think with that, I think we need to look forward to a political process in the next election that hopefully will begin to pick out men and women of vision, question our foreign policy. What's it focusing? Is it focusing on the Great Lakes? Is it focusing on our immediate neighbours at the behest of the superpower in terms of terrorism? What is our foreign policy? Why aren't we making a bid to be recognised as a key player in the Indian Ocean Rim? This is where the money is, this is where the investment is, this is where the opportunities are. I think we need a much more clearly defined foreign policy that will integrate, like environmental policy, with every aspect of public life and government in terms of where we want to be as a nation.
Yeah. Do we need a Lee Kuan Yew at the same time, Doc? Do we need some benevolent dictator to guide this country to the next phase?
No, I don't think we need a dictator. I think the wisdom of the people of Kenya, if it's allowed to express itself, and if there is a responsiveness on the part of those who govern to the views of the people, I think we'll get there much more quickly than going back to dictatorial systems. And I am totally opposed to the idea that a dictator is what we need. I don't think a benevolent dictator offers us any hope at all, and I would bitterly oppose a move in that direction. Yeah. I think the public must remember that the legislators, be it at county level, Senate level, or parliamentary level, are employees of the voter. And if you have Mfanyikazi who doesn't do what you ask him to do, or expect him to do, or you pay him to do, what do? Keep him on indefinitely, or do you fire the person? That's right. And you fire the person. And we should have the capacity to recall politicians and say, you didn't do what you said you're going to do. All right, you've had 2 years, another 2 to go, but out. Let's have a by-election. This will put these men and women on their toes. This will give the confidence to the civil service to act on policy that is driven by the people's wishes. This is where I think we're going, and I think we made a tremendous start this year in 2011. I'm thrilled.
Yeah. When it comes to national leadership and the very top, is it going to be the usual suspects, or do you see a fresh face out there that we wouldn't, that's not usually there, but will gain that support, could do it?
I realize what I may say, what I'm going to say may not be particularly popular, but I have a feeling that the present political party system is broken. I don't think it's likely that it can produce, given its ethnic base, the sort of leadership or the freedom of its leadership that we need to go forward. And while I think we may be stuck with it through 2012, although I would hope we're not, I would urge people to consider that within the new constitution there is provision for an independent presidential candidate. You could have a dozen men and women, perhaps some not living in Kenya today, who've been living in London or living in Tokyo or living somewhere else, who come back to Kenya as Kenyans, who stand up and say, we want to lead this country on the basis of issues, present themselves as independent candidates, participate in a presidential debate, fire the imagination of the people as to where leadership could take Kenya. My sense is that the political party system, if we were to get an independent president, would fall in behind it. And I don't think a leader elected on that basis would necessarily be stuck in terms of getting legislative programs through, because I don't think people could afford to block leadership that is based on the welfare of the people of Kenya, not the people of Central or the people of the coast or the people of Turkana, but the people of Kenya.
When you guys were forming Safina, did you think 20 years from then, we would be where we are?
Well, I think one of the things I remember most vividly about Safina with some of the people, my friends Paul